Patrick, brother, how you doing?
Not too bad, buddy. Not too bad.
So today we're going to be doing an episode on Charlie Kirk. And I know that it's been super difficult for both of us. So hope we can get through this. We're not going to interrupt this video with any likes and subscribes and any of that stuff. No, we're not going to be playing with any of that stuff. We just want you to listen to the message and hear what we have to say on this. And again, our hearts go out to the family. If there's anything we can do, don't hesitate to reach out. Patrick?
I could just say this is probably one of the more difficult ones we have to research on both sides of the pond. As they say, it was a tough reading. A lot of the stuff that was out there, it was really, really tough.
Well, I appreciate you doing the research on this one. I just couldn't stomach it. Thanks for getting all the stuff together so we can get this thing done. I appreciate you, Patrick. Thank you so much, bud.
No bother, brother.
All right, here we go. Hey, Patrick, how you doing, bud?
Not too bad at all, buddy. How are you?
No, not great. We did a post on X and we did a post on Instagram about the September 10th Charlie Kirk assassination. And wanted to go over some of that stuff. It is gut-wrenching and it hurts, but we need to go over it. It's something that needs to be done. So last 2 days we attempted to record and I couldn't get through it. I just couldn't do it. So I'm hoping we can get it done today. I'm going to read some stuff from Twitter. We got a couple other things that we're going to be looking at as well. This isn't going to be long. This is more a tribute to a really good man who had a good set of ideals and he spoke to them well. So,
yes.
All right, so we'll start. This is from Nick Sorter. He put something up from JD Vance. I'm not going to play it. I'm just gonna read it. So, JD Vance just went off on people who are calling for unity with radical leftists. There is no unity with people who scream at children over their parents' politics. There is no unity with someone who lies about what Charlie Kirk said in order to excuse his murder. There is no unity with someone who harasses an innocent family the day after the father of that family lost a dear friend. There's no unity with people who celebrate Charlie Kirk's assassination. So, I don't understand why anyone would cheer that on. That family is short a father. It's a wife who's short a husband. Children who will not be able to have their father there to guide them and help them on their journey and their path. So, the harassment's unacceptable. And then for people to lie about things that he said to make it okay that someone took a human life, like was taken on the 10th of September, it's inexcusable. I don't even know what to say to that. It just seems so insane on its face, right?
Yeah, especially all the tweets I've read over the last few days putting this together, and when we were, as you say, attempted to record for the last 2 days,
right?
The vitriol out there was unbelievable.
It doesn't make sense. Like, it doesn't follow reason at all. For some reason, there is some place that says that violence is okay to achieve a goal, but then when violence is perpetrated on your ideology, then it becomes unacceptable. So this race back to the middle where we all just need to hold hands and kumbaya and it's going to be, no. Like, that's not how this works, right?
No, totally. It's totally unbelievable to see people cheering another person's death. It's unbelievable. As I said, some of the tweets, and I even want to dignify them by putting them up here.
Right.
Some of them are pretty vicious.
Well, I do not want to aggrandize that kind of behavior. It's so far outside of what is appropriate in accordance with social mores that it's not fun. You actually sent me something on producers of games and game studios that were... Go ahead.
Especially, there were a set of posts on Blue Skies, and they were absolutely... The only word I could describe them was unhinged. Asmund Gold covered it in his channel quite well, but even he found them completely unhinged. Some of these
Well,
game
it's
developers, well, not even
inexcusable.
the game developers themselves, staff that work for some of these game studios.
It's just
It was
inexcusable. It's just
unbelievable.
inexcusable. So I want there to be unity. I want us to get along as a nation. We watched that thing with Nick Freitas the other day, and his tone was exceptionally unhappy. He was speaking to the Speaker of the House for the House of Representatives in Virginia, and he said, I don't accept whatever it is you're doing here, because the minute you all got in power, you started wielding that power in a way that is unacceptable, like grinding us under your boot as opposed to coming to an accord and doing what's best for the people of the state of Virginia, which is, I mean, come on, right? Wow.
Yeah.
So
it's, as I said, some of the stuff out there at the moment was difficult reading.
Right.
Is the only word I could describe it.
Oh, at best, difficult. Yep. So, all right. I want to say thank you to Nick Sorter for posting that up. We watched the entire video. I don't think I could stomach it again. It is just incredibly bad, right? There needs to be a sense of unity, not just within the United States, but across the G7 and the G20 to recognize that this is unacceptable. In Germany, 6 or 7 of the AfD party members right before election showed up dead. Like, this seems to be this rash of political assassinations has just gotten, it's starting to be a very, very serious problem. Like, if you can't have a concept that can, in the marketplace of ideas, measure up, you're going to kill your opponent now? That's going to be an acceptable form of politics? I don't find that healthy at all. So.
And the sad thing is, we could see this kind of ramping up, especially over the last few years, especially in the last, say, 4 to 5 years.
Right. Well, and there was an attempt on Trump. There were multiple attempts on Trump. One that we saw, and the other few were covered up, or they were stopped so quickly, right?
Yeah.
But had that bullet been 1 inch to the right, what, like, right? The whole world would be a different place right now, you know? So.
Yeah.
All right. So let us get into the next one. And here we go. USC President Kim asked Arnold Schwarzenegger some questions. So I'm going to go ahead and read this. USC President Kim asked me for my thoughts about Charlie Kirk at USC's Democracy Day celebration. There's something more important than my message in this video. It's what you don't hear. No heckling, no disrespect, no shouting. I know that social media shows us the worst of humanity, and a few people celebrating a death will get more attention than hundreds of respectful people. Don't let these companies and the rage influencers that profit from them convince you the worst of us are the most of us. They are a tiny minority that gets too much attention because anger makes you post, repost, and like. This was an audience of almost 500 students, and zero disrespect. That's how most of the real world outside the internet is. If you find yourself falling for the anger, go out in the real world and make yourself human again.
Yeah, that's a very positive message. There's a lot of the vitriol that I've read seems to be fueling each other online. But as he says there, it's only a tiny, tiny fraction of the world.
The combination of anger and anonymity is bad, right?
Yes.
In the marketplace of ideas, if your concept is better than mine, I will adjust my view, right? But anger gets likes. Wild, nasty, inappropriate behavior gets attention, right? It's like everybody's trying to be the biggest class clown, but in a negative impact kind of way, right?
Yeah.
Again,
and as more details are coming out at the moment, and details are still rolling in about the motivations of this killer. A lot of it was fueled online.
Right. Remember
we
covered an episode of Dad Saves America when he talked about the Overton window, right?
Yes.
The one on communism. So it seems to be applying here even more heavily, right? So as people act outside of what is acceptable behavior, they're getting more and more and more out of hand. They're just getting more out of hand because you have to now get more out of hand to get the attention that you got for being just a little silly before. right? And with the anonymity, you can be anybody that you want to be, right?
But what we're seeing here is more of the online vitriol that seems to be pouring more into the real world sphere that's affecting all of us.
Right, right. I just want to sit down with somebody, have a pint, and talk about it. And I know we get all kinds of comments. That's not realistic, Alex. Patrick, we sit down with a beer. Yeah. Sit down with a brew or a soda pop or a root beer and just. Go ahead.
But unfortunately, I think that ship has sailed past this point.
Well, X and the like have become the town square. But the problem with the town square where everybody's anonymous is there's no accountability. We're reaching a point where there is a complete lack of accountability for people's actions, right? Which means they can just do wild whatever they want. But when they get out in the real world and somebody punches them in the face because they can't control their mouth, right? That's an issue, right?
But I think the days of sitting down and trying to have a civilized chat with people, I think is maybe a thing of the past.
When they hear things they don't want to hear, they just walk away. And then if you're like, hey, I just want to talk, and then they yell at you and they cast aspersions on you, foul language, epithets, swear words, things to get you riled up so they can say, see, look, you're angry, so you're wrong, right?
Yeah.
I am angry. I am sad. I am unhappy.
Yeah. But the sad thing is they use your humanity as a weapon against you.
I wish ill on no one until that person shows me that they would rather violate me in some way, not to be awkward with the language, but if they decide for whatever reasons to cast aspersions on my character, right, at all times I attempt to have high moral and ethical efficaciousness at all times, right? I'm accountable for my actions. If I tell you I will do something, my word is my bond, I will do it. If I can't do it, I will tell you why I can't do it. Right?
Yes.
But this goes beyond that. This is a gentleman who said, here are my ideals. I have thought about them for a very long time. He was super respectful, super respectful. We're watching the Crucible talk with Brian from the Whatever podcast. And Brian said he was super cool. His team was super cool. He got on the panel, didn't raise his voice to anybody. He said, hey, you might want to think through this process. And here's what I'm seeing. What are you seeing? And he would say, hey, so the thing you're saying doesn't purport with reality. What you're saying is there's this feeling-based thing and da-da-da-da, right? So people got mad because he was right and righteous about the rightness, but not in a negative impact way, you know? Yes. He cared about his family. He cared about the country. He cared about patriotism. He cared about making sure that the youth of today had a better option and opportunity than what's going to be coming their way.
He was a very, very strong man when it came to his ideals. And he brought that like to the rest of the US.
He was killed to destroy a positive voice in our world.
Yes.
The light has now become dark, and it is absolutely unacceptable. I can't even tell you how sad this makes me. I love debating. I love it. Hey, let's talk about it, you know?
Yeah, but one positive that came out of all this is the outpouring of young people I've seen online, where even they realize this is a pivotal moment in their lives, and that they seem to be picking up the same torch,
right,
and carrying it forward.
Right. So
hundreds of thousands of people.
My parents talked a lot about the big things that happened in their lives, right? JFK's assassination, the Bay of Pigs, landing on the moon, Vietnam. And then for me, right, Desert Storm, 9/11, and this is on par with those things. This is a world-changing event.
And everyone, I think everyone in the world has realized that. When we see marches across the world all chanting, "We are Charlie Kirk," I don't think the left realizes how much stronger they've made his movement.
Well, I was watching, someone was posting, look at all these idiots, da, da, da. One female was like, oh, I hate using that word. There was a female who had a platform, and on her platform, she said that Charlie Kirk did not have a big enough voice to be a martyr. There's 3,500 chapters of Turning Point USA in the United States. There's Turning Point in the UK. In fact, he would go to the UK. Charlie knew a lot about the politics over there, the Tories and Labour and da-da-da. He knew about Ireland, all right?
Yeah.
The Dáil and all those things
He
involved in
did
your...
his research before he set foot anywhere.
Oh, for
which is
sure.
which is really commendable to him.
Right, and he was well spoken. And
Absolutely
if you
fantastic.
had a good
Yes.
argument for your side of a thing, you could bend him to what purports with reality. He wanted to believe as many true things as were possible so that he could think clear and in an optimized fashion and spread a positive message about being a patriot in the United States, about being a good man, being a good father, being a good supporter. Like, the death of that voice is going to affect us for the next few decades, in fact.
Yeah. And he also showed the world what it's like to be a good Christian, which is very, very important, especially his faith.
Yeah, he was
Just when we
very,
shared the same
very
faith.
faith-based, for sure. He gave all his glory to God. That's what he did.
Yeah.
Right? And it doesn't matter what my position is or what my religion is. He was a man who was strong in his faith, and he cared so much for his family, right?
Yes.
I spent hours doing research for this thing, and it just made me more and more sad or more and more angry. The breadth of emotion on this has been just insane. I didn't think it would affect me. I didn't. I was like, you know. Then I was like, oh, no, that hurts. And then it just got to be like this morass, right? This abyss that I fell into. Just, I mean, not like my mental health is so bad I'm going to go, you know, do a dumb thing, right? I'm not going to permanently solve a temporal problem. Like, that's not the case at all. But it just seems that everything is so polarized now that you cannot get people to meet in the middle. And he did what he could to go out on those campuses and say, hey, look, there's other options. There's other things. Let's talk about it. And he just got screamed at, yelled at, disrespected. Right, left, right, and center. It was not the best. So,
yeah, I've saw those videos now myself as I was doing research, even from an outsider looking in. When I started the research for this video myself, I didn't think it would hit me as hard as it did. Believe it or not, I didn't even think that myself.
well,
as
yeah.
People probably judge by my accent. I'm not from the US.
What?
Yeah, but as I was saying, it was shocking how much it did affect me.
Yeah. Well, a good, clear voice is hard to find, and a voice that clear is irreplaceable. So, all right, let's get on to the next one. All right, here we go. So this is from Erica Kirk. If you thought that my husband's mission was powerful before, you have no idea. You have no idea what you have unleashed across the entire country in this world. That has both positive and negative connotations, right? Positive in that the voice will continue regardless of your attempted ability to squash it, but it's a message of hope as well, right?
I think what people don't understand is when any thought leader is assassinated or murdered like this, their image, not just their image, their message is also amplified across the world.
Yep, 100%. So it's not going to go well. After Charlie Kirk turned 35, he was on track to probably pull in a VP slot behind Vance and then maybe run for president himself. Like, he was that clear in thought. He was that strong of a voice. He was that good of an organizer. His ability to do personnel and resource management, to manage Turning Point USA, and all those things involved in it, along with his outreach and community stuff with the church, amazing. He was an amazing man, right? And Erica was his support that made sure that Charlie could do all the things that he was doing. And he had faith in God and faith in his family, and his children looked up to him. So,
and also what she's also pointed out is the fact that Turning Point went from 3,600 chapters in the United States to over 18,000 chapters founded the following day after his murder.
I don't think you can. It is a murder, but I think it actually is characterized as an assassination.
Yes.
When you kill a thought leader like that, like you were saying, like that is an assassination.
Yeah.
Right.
And we can also see the motivations behind this person.
The one thing that irritated me, I was super irritated. So I was watching some news programs, some right-leaning stuff, right? Like they could not get off of the proposed assailant's relationship and what that relationship looked like, right? They just wouldn't get off, right? Like, obviously, the man is deranged, absolutely deranged. That isn't a thing that is acceptable in society. That is beyond the pale, right? But
yes.
I can't understand the far right, or the right, I guess, is like, this is the relationship they had and it was in violation of all these tenets. Well, I understand that. Yes, I get it. But they couldn't get off that. And the far left was like, we don't know if it was someone who just, accidentally discharged a firearm.
Yeah, I saw that it wasn't posted by a couple of news organs. Well, you can just see the clip on Joe Rogan.
Right. Well, but that's the height of dishonesty. It's like, why are we pushing so far out from the center? And I think it's to get the attention, right?
Yes.
The individual who committed the crime is responsible for their actions and activities. Anyone is responsible for the consequences. You have agency. There are consequences for your actions, right?
But yes, but this person was completely, very much left-leaning. We can see that now with the evidence that's been released.
So obviously, right? But the thing
is, we know we already kind of guessed the motivations behind this assassin.
Right. Well, we watched James Lindsay on New Discourses, and his thing is social Marxism works like this. If I keep calling something racist, eventually I will control that thing, right? If you tell someone that Charlie Kirk is a fascist, Charlie Kirk is a Nazi, like if you say those things, eventually someone's going to be like, well, Nazis shouldn't live. You should kill them. So if I kill Charlie Kirk, then that's what you're supposed to do. Right? You kill evil, right? But the thing is when their vision gets so warped as to believe that someone who is as good a human being as Charlie Kirk was is someone that you should kill because they're a Nazi, that is so far from the truth. Like, I can't even fathom, I can't see where they are from here, right?
Yeah.
So.
And it was unbelievable when I saw some of the reporting, and I mean, they had a very generous term around this situation, around this.
Right.
As I said, I didn't bother sending on a lot of these tweets and other stuff I had to read for this. It was absolutely unbelievable.
Well, I'm having a rough time getting through this, honestly. So,
yep.
He's not coming back, but his message will continue, I am sure.
Yes.
And yeah. It's an unintended moment of silence, but we'll take it for what it is. So, Mrs. Kirk, our heart goes out to you and your family. We're a very, very small podcast, obviously. But if you need anything, don't hesitate to reach out. I know there's lots of resources out there, and a lot of money have gone into those resources to make sure that you can continue with Charlie's vision and ensure that that thought is put out there in the world. And let's hope something positive comes from it. And there's some real change that goes on in this country, in the United States. Patrick?
I echo your thoughts there. My thoughts definitely go to her at this particular moment. It's unbelievable to lose a fantastic husband like she did. Such a cowardly act.
Right. Well, I saw her speech and it was pretty moving.
Yes,
she got through it though.
Fantastic.
So, yeah. So, all right. We are the A&P Gents. For Patrick McCallum, I am Alex Johansson. We're out.